Hi guys, thank you for tuning in to the Family First Life Emerald City YouTube channel. I am Brittany Fontana, and today with me I have the honor to introduce integrity partner and agency owner of FFL North, John Gavin. So let's give him a warm applause, guys. Hi John, how are you doing today?
I could not be any better. How are you?
You know, I'm doing good. It's Thursday, got no complaints, just hustling and moving and grooving per usual.
There you go.
Yeah. So, John, I wanted to bring you on today for a few different reasons. I wanted to talk more about integrity, how you got there, and, you know, pretty much what advice you would have for any new agents who are wanting that integrity deal and partnership. Mm-hmm. But I also want to know more about you. I know very little of John Gavin. I want to know your story, how you got to FFL, how you got FFL North as an agency, and really just, you know, bringing you to light on our channel. So
you bet. So how I got to FFL?
Yes.
So obviously I'm not like Michael Sandman. I'm not 19. I'm not 20. So I've led a full life before FFL, and there was a lot of good and there was some not so good, you know, and you know, I had a mortgage business, just like a lot of people, and did pretty well there. And you know, I just never learned about money. I didn't learn about compounding interest and debt and what it could do to you. So when I started making good money, I lived like I made a little bit more than I actually did.
Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but I never thought like housing, I never thought that the mortgage market would ever go away because I was actually really good at it. It's just something that came naturally to me. I had, you know, a lot of referral lines coming in and life was pretty good. And then, you know, the whole housing market crashed and my world just changed overnight. And being the owner of the business, a lot of people were getting out and finding other things to do. And I went down with the ship. You know, I was rearranging the chairs on the Titanic when just above the waterline. And by the time I finally jumped off, I mean, I'd lost everything. And so, you know, having to reinvent myself and find something new was not easy because at that time, this was 2009 to 2010, 11, nobody was hiring. So the one thing that I really knew I was good at was gone. It didn't exist anymore. And then trying to find a new career was difficult because of the economy. It was the worst job market we've seen since 1933. Yeah. And, you know, I applied for everything. I was going to job fairs. I was applying for everything I could online, and I was really giving it my all. Like I actually applied for a job as a milkman, and I wrote a cover letter telling them how much I love dairy. And I applied for a job at a dating service, even though I was going through a divorce. I applied for a job at a dating service and told them I just love love. And you know, no one ever called me back. I couldn't find anything. And eventually after about 2 years of that and, you know, hitting absolute rock bottom, I answered one ad and it's for an insurance company. And I needed something at the time. It didn't sound like something I'd want to do long term, but I went and got my insurance license and went to work. And that was for a captive agency. And so brick and mortar, went there every day. Got paid a little bit of salary with a promise of commissions, but those never came either. And then after a year of that, I just knew you know, there was other things for me. And the mortgage market started to come back a little bit. And a friend of mine had an office that survived. And I talked to him, and I still had my license. And I was going back to go into the mortgage business and do what I was really good at. But because of what the housing market crash did to the economy, the regulations had completely changed. The industry wasn't close to what it was when I was in it before. I was in there for a couple of months, but on my very first day of being in that office, somebody came up to me and asked me, "Are you looking to make some extra money?" And I was so broke at the time. I was like, "I'm looking to make some money." I didn't know it was called extra money right now.
I need whatever I can get.
Exactly. And so he showed me how you can, I'd had life insurance before, but I'd never heard of simplified issue life insurance. And so he showed me how he had a stack of leads. There were people that were reaching out in some format to ask about getting life insurance. And he called them up, he went and met with them, he helped them out, and he got paid a couple days later. I'm like, that seems too simple.
Yeah,
But this is the mortgage is what I wanted to do, but this takes 45, 60 days to get paid on. If you're telling me I can get paid by the end of the week, I want to do this too.
Right.
And so I started doing that. And first couple of leads I called, I set appointments, went out and helped them and got paid a couple of days later. Now, it wasn't, the big payments I was used to getting while doing mortgages, but it was consistent. And so after a couple months, I gave the company laptop back to my friend and said, I'm going to go do this full time.
You're like, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. So that's how I really got into the insurance business. And
okay.
The only thing though is the company that I went to was not Family First Life.
Yeah.
And
okay.
They weren't set up like we are here. They didn't have high comp. I started at 55%. I had to pay for training. I had to fly to meetings and pay for the meetings to go to. So I went into that business broke, and after a year, I was more broke because of all the costs associated with it. Yes. And the low comp. So I was about to leave the industry completely and go do something else, probably go back to the mortgage business. But my two mentors, the people that got me into the business, Matt and Sean, said, just hold tight. There's something new that's starting, and I think that it's going to change everything for all of us. And that's when we had a meeting with Sean Mike. And he brought up Family First Life. Yeah. And he said, I don't know what this is going to look like, but I promise you one thing, that I will outwork every other president of every other IMO out there in order for your success. And I'll always put the agents first. And he has. And so instantly we start with a high comp. So I started making, really good income right away. Didn't have to pay for the trainings, didn't have to pay for meetings. So what you made, you got to keep. In those early days, it was pretty rough because we didn't have a lead system. We only had one carrier, but we battled through that. Yeah. And then as the years went on, and eventually I sold, and I was an individual producer for quite a few years. Didn't want to build an agency just because I didn't think I could, and I was kind of still licking my wounds from everything before. And eventually had a conversation, and Matt's like, well, how are you, why don't you build a business and share what you know with everybody else? And so I started slowly. I was recruiting one agent here, and that's probably the biggest mistake you could make, because if you want to build something, you gotta do it full time. You gotta do it consistently. Yeah. And so about 4 years ago, I met a guy named Brad Allen.
What is that?
Yeah.
That guy.
And that sort of changed everything for me, because I found someone that wanted to work with me. Before that, I wasn't recruiting on a regular basis, so people came and went, and the people I had before was like planting one little seed and expecting a forest. Yeah. I planted the seed and I watered it and I stared at it and I gave it sunlight and I watered it until it drowned and died. Now I had Brad, who was just a self-starter, self-motivated, just did everything we asked him to do, and he took off. So I decided, if there's one Brad out there, there's got to be more, Right. And so that's what gave me the motivation to really build FFL North to what it is today, because I saw how much it helped him too, because he wasn't in a spot where I was, but he was looking for something different later on in life too.
Yeah, 100%.
And then so just by continuously putting ourselves out there and continuously trying to recruit, then the team started growing. And then we met Brian Rowlands, and Brian brought on Jessica, and then more people started coming. And so the company itself started evolving as well too. So we started building a brand name for ourselves. Now people knew who we were. Before, we were the new kids on the block and everyone wanted us to fail. Now we were established and people were actually afraid of us, because
that's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just a short time later, and we've built the strongest platform in the industry. We've got, the highest comp, we've got great leads, we've got free training, we've got no contract, we've got vested renewals, we've got VP bonus programs and producer bonus programs, and so many things that other companies don't have. And so now it's a matter of, it's how fast can you grow, because we're finding, not just people who are looking for a new career, but we're finding people that are in our career that are broke. Yeah. And saving them from where they're currently at. And so I'm so excited to be part of this. And the whole integrity program, a couple of years ago when we partnered with them as a corporate, because I didn't know what it would mean for everybody. But we quickly found out, with the leads that became available, our biggest thing when we were recruiting before is like, how are we going to get new leads? Well, Now, since we've partnered with Integrity, we've got endless amounts of leads
Endless.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just the different resources that Integrity provided us on a corporate level, and then getting that phone call from them and wanting them to partner with us, now we get it at an agency level as well too.
Which I think is so helpful for agents. I mean, like you said, I'm not someone who came from a prior agency, so I can't understand the difference. But what I continue to hear is how FFL sets you up for success compared to the other companies that are out there. I mean, Sean Mike gives everything for every agent, not just, in the Rogue IMO, not just in America, not in the FFL USA, none of those. He does it for every agent across the nation. And I mean, who can say their CEO does that, right? I mean, it's just, it's incredible. I mean, again, why wouldn't someone want to be here, be set up for success, and have their lives change forever? I don't understand why people don't want to join fast enough.
And to set the bar and set the tone the way he has, and he continuously says, do things you don't have to do and you'll grow. Like a lot of people build a business and you only do the things that they have to do.
Yep.
Like Sean didn't have to introduce the vice president bonuses. He didn't have to increase comp to 145. He didn't have to introduce the producer bonuses, because in all honesty, all of those things take away from the corporate profitability, which was him.
Yeah.
And totally partnered with Integrity. But when you give part of things that you don't have to, people start appreciating that. And I think that's what's attracting everybody to our company, because he's made it so where it's not just the best platform, it's the easiest to become profitable and the easiest to grow based off of what he's built and the tone that he's set and the way he's done it.
Yeah. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, the little bit I've been here obviously for a short amount of time, not as long as everyone else, but from what I've seen just in the short amount of time I've been here, I mean, it's life-changing. I'm seeing people do things for others that they have never been able to do before, and supporting their own families because they're helping families. I mean, that again, it's just such an incredible company to be a part of, because the mission that's behind it and the foundation that's there and the CEO that runs all this, the themes, the common messages. I mean, you're set up for success when you choose FFL regardless. I mean, it's a phenomenal company. And now you're an Integrity partner, John, which congratulations. That is so exciting. You did it.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. How did that feel getting the Integrity deal? I mean, I can't imagine.
I mean, it's pretty surreal.
Yes.
I don't think that, I've had my own business for several years and even prior to this, but I had no business sense. Didn't have any business acumen. I just kind of muddled along, and to meet with Integrity and go through your stuff and have them show you what your business really looks like from their perspective and their numbers and their data. It's like, oh, wow, this is a real business.
Yeah.
And it goes to show how strong, I think it legitimizes everything we do here, because the fact that a company the size and stature of Integrity wants to partner with so many of us because they see the value in what we do and how we do it.
And that's an incredible reputation to have. I mean, to partner up with Integrity is obviously game changing, and it's now game changing for any agency owner who gets that Integrity deal. Now, John, what advice would you have, or tips, or anything you would tell a new agent who's really gung ho, who wants to get that Integrity deal? What advice would you have for them?
You have to eat, sleep, and breathe business for a while. There's so many people that build momentum and call time out on themselves because of things that they don't need to, and they slow that momentum down. And I think that if you really want to get to the point where you get a partnership done, you've got to get up early, 5 o'clock. There's no reason to sleep past 5 o'clock. Get things done early that you can get done, take on the day, recruit every single day, do it consistently and do it feverishly. 2 years ago when Sean got the corporate partnership, when he said we all have this ability, I didn't think I was even be
like okay.
And then a year later, I got the call. And so if you're building an agency and you think that's for somebody else and not you, that's not true.
Yeah, it's wrong.
You just need to put your head down. You need to be consistent. You need to run your business like an actual business, have your P&Ls, monitor your profitability, see where you're at, get some growth, have a conversation with other people who've gotten there and ask them, what do we need to get here? Everybody runs their business a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And so I think that hiring or recruiting consistently, having someone do your books, running a business, W-2ing your staff, and having staff, and that's where you start, and you just keep building off that.
And you just keep going, and before you know it, you'll be getting that integrity deal, wearing that integrity hat.
The funny part about it is Brian Adams having a conversation with the CEO of Integrity. He was asked, and he gets asked this a lot, when do you need to be done with these partnerships? And he just burst out laughing. He says, done. We've literally just started.
And that
we consider being done when we are just starting. And he sees the FFL as such a valuable asset and legitimately wants hundreds of partners to come from FFL. And right now we're at 22. So we're at the very beginning stages of this, and there's so many more to come. And there's people that we're recruiting today that are just getting through contracting today that are going to build agencies, and they're going to get deals, and they don't even know it. So if that's possible for them, it's possible for everybody else too.
And I hope that anyone viewing this, or even a new agent or a seasoned agent, or people who are just considering joining FFL, I hope the takeaway is that anyone can get that integrity deal. It's not that John Gavin was extra special, or Grady or any of them that have that integrity deal is extra special. They just went to work. They put their heads down and they went to work. And so that being said, I hope you guys realize that it's possible for anyone. Anyone can do this as long as you have the right mindset. I think you can go far, just like John Gavin has now. So we're excited. We're excited to see what happens for FFL North. We're rooting for you here at Emerald City, and we can't thank you enough for joining us today. We really appreciate that. I know you got a lot going on, so thank you, John, again for tuning in today.
The last thing I want to say is that this integrity deal has been great for my family, the agency, and our staff. But it would be a complete failure if I didn't bring as many other agents as I could with me to get here, because it's a pretty awesome place. And I was given so much by so many people in this business that I really just want to return the favor and get as many other people deals as I can.
And I love that. And I know you're working with us. We appreciate you. We appreciate anything you've done for Emerald City and what you're going to continue to do for us. And thank you, John, for everything. We can't appreciate you enough here at Emerald City. And thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to click and subscribe, follow the social media handles below, and see you guys next week. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, John.